So today's breakfast is sponsored by the Clayton County Office of Economic Development. And in association with that, we're going to have the Director of the Office of Economic Development give the presentation this morning. His name is Courtney Pogue, and I'm going to read a little bit from his bio for you guys. Prior to joining the Clayton County Office of Economic Development as Director in July of 2015, Courtney worked as Deputy Director of Economic Development for Cook County in Chicago, Illinois, the second largest county in the country. While there, Courtney worked on more than 140 projects, which were estimated to generate more than $800 million in private investment and support 16,000 jobs. Courtney was also the founder and president of Waterworks Group, an economic development and real estate advisory service firm based in Chicago that focused on urban real estate development. He has served on numerous community-based organizations such as Far South Side Community Development Corporation and Quad Communities Development Corporation. He is a licensed managing real estate broker in Illinois, a certified commercial investment member, and a certified property manager. Courtney was awarded the designation of Certified Economic Developer in 2008 by the International Economic Development Council. Courtney holds an MBA from the University of Notre Dame and a BBA in Finance from Howard University. Please help me welcome Courtney Pogue.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As Lahad said, I'm Courtney Pogue. I'm happy to be here. Back home in Chicago, actually had 6 inches of snow last night, so being down in Georgia is definitely refreshing, and there's no snow to show. Today I'm just going to give you a quick overview of economic development in Clayton County. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions of what's taking place, but overall the county's doing great. We are improving. So I'll just run through a few things as far as economic development and what's taking place. We'll do an overview, county snapshot, and some of the ED update and some of the highlights in 2015. Perception. As an economic developer, people receive the glass half empty or half full. Well, as an economic developer, my position, I always see it's half full. How do we fill it back up? What are the tools to fill the glass back up? Some people may say, well, Courtney, I see the glass is half empty. What are you going to put in it? In this case of Clayton County, we really have a case of perception. We have a glass that is more or less, I would say, half full. I think we're at the point where we can fill the glass up. There are a lot of companies expanding in Clayton County. There are jobs being created in Clayton County. Our economy is increasing. Our median income is increasing. A lot of good factors that we need to talk about and tell the story and change the perception of Clayton County. What does the economic developer do? My job is basically 2 things: retain and create jobs, grow and stabilize our tax base. Now, what is our tax base? It's retail taxes and property taxes. How do you do that? By retail attraction, retail stabilization, and those other factors. The current county snapshot claims about 270,000 people. Our median income is about $42,569. That has increased roughly about $2,000 over the past 2 or 3 years. It's improving. Still slightly below the state of Georgia average household median income, but it's improving. Unemployment, 6.6%. We have something to be proud of. That is the largest improvement in unemployment in the entire state. We increased by roughly 1.8% over last year. Our labor force, 125,000 people. It's the largest labor force in the southern crescent of Atlanta. Larger than Henry County, larger than Coweta County, larger than Fayette County. Here's an overview of unemployment over the past 16 years. In 2002, we were roughly about 5.9%. We had the recession. We had a huge bump up at 13.5%. A number of factors hit Clayton County. More or less a perfect storm. The recession, we had some internal issues. We also lost the public transportation system. So it's not just one factor, but a cornucopia of factors hit us at the same time. But the good news is that it's coming down from 13.5 to 6.6. That's actually one of the largest improvements in the nation. something to tell a story about, to be proud of. As I said, over the past year, it went from 8.4% down to 6.6% as far as unemployment rate. That is the largest improvement in the Atlanta Metro, far greater than any of the 10 core counties that make up the Atlanta Metro. Now, unemployment rate. People say we may have the largest unemployment rate at 6.6%. It's true, and the rate denotes that. However, the perception is that the 111,000 people that are unemployed in the Atlanta Metro are in Clayton County. That's not true. You look at the actual numbers as far as unemployment in Clayton County, it's about 8,000 people. You look at Cobb County, it's roughly over about 18,000. DeKalb, roughly about 19,000. And Fulton, more or less about 25,000, 26,000 people. So you look at the perception of the county. You look at the perception of how we frame the argument, or frame our story. That 8,000 people is actually decreased. And like I said, the largest decrease over the past year anywhere in the Atlanta Metro. A current real estate snapshot. As far as our industrial or retail real estate in Clayton County, as it relates to the Southern Crescent, we're the largest. Roughly 18 million square feet of retail space. Roughly 40 million square feet of industrial space. Combined, total roughly 60 million square feet of commercial real estate in Atlanta Southern Crescent. We are the largest. We're the driver of the Southern Crescent. So when I say that we are the heart of the Southern Crescent, there's some facts behind that. With facts to support it. As you look at our retail snapshot, what do people spend in Clayton County? What is our retail sales? You, the people who live here, people who shop here, you spend the most money in the Southern Crescent at $2.9 billion annually. Far greater than any other county in the Southern Crescent. It's a good story to tell. With that being said, the other counties around us, we understand that there's an article in the paper with Henry County building a new shopping center, the Promenade. Why is that shopping center being built? Well, because Henry County has a leakage of $300 million. Where's that leakage coming to? People shop here because there's good retail in Clayton County. Some people may differ, but there's actually people who do shop here. That's the strength of our county. We have some assets that we need to promote along our retail base and some things we're going to protect. I'll look at it this way. I've told our chairman and COO I basically do two things. I'm going to attack the unemployment rate and protect our $2.9 million. $2.9 billion, I'm sorry. I'm a former football player, so you attack one thing, protect the other thing. So roughly the $2.9 billion in retail sales is our story. We look at how they compare to other counties and why there are some disparities as far as the retail base. The 2.9 is the largest, but also we see that some of our retail may need a little TLC. TLC in the sense that the valuation, how investors look at the marketplace as far as retail is not comparable to a Henry or Cowee or Fed. Because we are the heart of Atlanta Southern Crescent, and our retail base was one of the first to be built in the Southern Metro, maybe a little older. We have older property. It doesn't have the same value as some of the newer properties you see in built in Henry or Cowee or Fed. So we need to invest in some of our resources into some of these properties throughout Clayton County to more or less raise the valuation. And we're going to do that. People ask me, as economic developer for Clayton County, why can't we attract certain retailers to Clayton County? What is the main driver of that? When a retailer looks at the data, one of the main points they look at is more or less, what is our household median income? Right now, Clayton's about $42,560. So, when you look to attract a Trader Joe's, a Whole Foods, a Winn-Dixie, Earth Fare, and so on, they're looking at household median income. We're increasing, but we're not there just yet. Like the movie, we're gonna get there, but we're not there just yet. So more or less, like a Whole Foods roughly about $62,314, we need to raise our household median income. How do you do that? You attract certain types of jobs. Now what are those jobs in Clayton County? Logistics, transportation, warehousing, stronger retail. Industrial space in the Southern Crescent. We have the most industrial space in Atlanta Southern Metro. I stated before, roughly 40 million square feet. Our vacancy is lower than anywhere else. As you look around some of the northern counties, our valuation is comparable to some of the other counties as it relates to performance as far as our industrial real estate space. We have the most buildings as far as 637 buildings in Atlanta Southern Crescent as far as our industrial stock. So, what does the economic development do, and how do we protect and attack our unemployment rate? Well, we need tools. Clayton County, based on its current status, is a Tier 1 county. The state of Georgia gives us a tool to help some of our industries grow and to attract certain businesses to Clayton County. Those industries consist of manufacturing, logistics, telecommunications, and data centers. We also look at utilizing the Development Authority of Clayton County as far as utilizing bonds and so on. We look at industrial revenue bonds as far as expansion. Those are the tools that drive the market. Those are the tools we need to have in our toolbox to help, like I said, protect the $2.9 billion of retail sales here, but also attack the 6.6 unemployment rate. This is a map of what they call Tier 1, for the various tiers within the state of Georgia. As you look at the gray areas, those are what we call the Tier 1 counties. And more or less Tier 1 credit, which is the maximum credit given by the state of Georgia, that really helps attract companies to Clayton County. Just the other day, I got an announcement from the state of Georgia that new companies moving here because they have Tier 1 status. They're bringing 50 good-paying jobs to this county. We're also working on some other companies coming here, which also will create good-paying jobs. Those good-paying jobs will help raise our household median income. We raise our household median income, we'll attract the Earth Fairs. We'll attract the Whole Foods and the Trader Joe's. And those other retailers you're looking for, those high-quality restaurants, as my chairman said, those white cloth table restaurants. So, why are economic development tools needed? Haven't done this for 20 years, and Lon gave my bio, and those tools are needed when you deal in certain climates, certain communities, because of extraordinary costs. Costs in the sense of remediation, site costs, infrastructure costs, and so on. There's risk. An investor or developer builds a project, there's certain inherent risk tied to the project that we must deal with. So those tools help balance the overall equation of making a project successful. Improve returns. Like putting money into a bank, an investor in real estate puts money into a project. They're looking for a return. It's a business. One of the things we utilize incentives for is lower operating costs and other factors. But also we look at filling the project gap for some of the developments that are taking place. So basically you do three things when economic development incentives or tools. We help lower the development costs on the front end, which improves the overall project returns, but also reduces the amount of finance. Two, we try to find cheap capital in the sense of either bond financing, or some type of credits, in the sense of the market tax credits, local housing tax credits, rehab tax credits, and so on. Operating costs. We try to lower operating costs by utilizing various tax incentives, either tax abatements given by either the Development Authority or by the Clayton County Board of Commissioners. So, some of the projects that were built, we have utilized tools to be created. Porsche. Porsche would not have relocated the south side of Atlanta without a tax incentive. They have enterprise zone. They utilize the enterprise zone to come down. They also use bond financing for the development authority of Fulton County. We have to do the same thing. If you want catalytic, big-time projects, we have to build our toolbox up and use the right tools to attract those type of developments. A Portia, a Stonecrest, an Atlantic Station. We're getting there, and we're going to do those things. In 2013, some of you were here as far as the Economic Development Plan. People have asked, what is the status of the Economic Development Plan? Well, I'm going to give you an update. So one of the first factors in the Economic Development Plan is how do we reshape the internal, external image of Clayton County. That's ongoing right now. As you see the ladies behind, or filming me right now, with TV 23. That was one of the ways to improve the county's image as far as marketing. Another thing was more or less to have a public information officer to more or less capture some of the negative press that we see in the media in regards to Clayton County. There's a lot of good things taking place in Clayton County. Our schools are improving, companies have come back home, people are hiring. Almost on a monthly basis, we're seeing between 50 and 150 jobs being created. People don't know that. People ask, well, what businesses are being attracted to Clayton County? Well, a lot of companies coming back. It's a story that we need to tell on a weekly, daily, monthly basis. One of the other factors of the Economic Development Plan is look at the overall industry business. So over the past year, with the Development Authority, Clayton County, the Chamber, the Economic Development Office, we have done a number of existing industry visits to help stabilize and maintain our industrial and retail base here in Clayton County. So I think before I got here, probably 3 or 4, maybe 2. Since I've been here, probably did roughly about 20 on top of that. My goal for this year will be roughly about 100. So we're going to reach out to roughly 100 businesses, face-to-face, interviews, communication. What are your issues? How do we help you, the companies expand in Clayton County? So I would say over the past year, by doing some of those visits, we've seen roughly probably 200 jobs being created just by reaching out to various companies and providing data regarding the incentives, the programs, and what's going on in Clayton County. People want to hear our story. If you sit down with a person on a face-to-face basis, on a one-to-one interaction, and tell the story, they're sold. So we have to do more of that. In regards to workforce development, that is key. Economic development and workforce development are interconnected. One of the first things, my second day here at the job here, one of the industrial brokers, we were doing a walkthrough an industrial building about a company looking to relocate here. And they asked me, what's up with the workforce? Can I find the workers if I bring my company here? We're working through that right now. And I said, yeah, you can find a workforce here. Through Clayton County Public Schools and the Career, Technical, Agriculture Education Program, through Clayton State, through Atlanta Tech, the workforce is here. And we're doing some things, working with our partners to make sure that we're attracting and building up on that by maintaining the workforce. So I will say in the next 3 to 6 months, you'll probably hear an announcement in regards to some of the great things we're doing with our workforce to help some of our young people and some of our people changing careers as far as workforce development. So that's ongoing. Our industry clusters. The plan outlined what are some of our core industry clusters. Look at more or less logistics and transportation, manufacturing, retail trade, bio, health services, life sciences, film and TV entertainment. Those are our core industries. Those are the industries we're going to focus on. Per our plan, that's the core of our business. Small business development. The next few months you will hear by working with our Small Business Development Center, by creating new tools, working with the BOC, the Board of Commissioners, and the Development Authority of Clayton County. We're going to have small business development tools to more or less grow and help our small businesses in Clayton County. One of the things that Clayton County has is that most people don't know, Clayton County has the largest percentage of minority-based businesses here in the entire state of Georgia. It's a good story. We need to promote it. We need to tell the story. As we look at how do we grow and target higher education, working with Clayton State, Dr. Hines is very interactive as far as growing that sector. Overall, the economic development plan is ongoing, and we're working through it. Some of you have read it. I encourage you to read it. If you haven't got a copy of it, we'll be more than happy to give you a copy of it to read. So, one of the things we want to do is promote Clayton County, a push strategy. So what is a push strategy? In marketing, you have what's called push and pull. In a pull market, typically, the market's already been created. I can attract a consumer to that market because all the resources are there. The story's already told, the consumer knows the marketplace. That is called a pull strategy. Clayton's a push strategy. We have to go out and find our resources, find the middleman in the situation, and push our story on them. From our brokers, to the media, to the current businesses here in Clayton County, we're going to do an all-out push strategy to make sure that our companies know and people know our story as far as promoting Clayton County. We're going to emphasize our accessibility based upon the airport, 4 major interstates, and a major rail line. Promote our industry clusters. As I alluded to earlier, we're focused on transportation logistics, and the reason why I'll show you why in a minute. We're focused on existing industries to make sure that they know about the resources that are available to them as far as tools and programs to help grow their companies. But also we'll talk about the county's investment. Over the past few years, the county's made more than $100 million investments in its own infrastructure. That's the story we need to promote and tell. Because truly, Clayton is the heart of Atlanta's Southern Crescent. As stated before, these are industry clusters, and this is the reason why we focus on industry clusters. It is far easier to invest in an existing business or existing company than to actually go out and try to create a market. In this case, transportation logistics, or logistics and warehousing and transportation are our core. We're more than 600 firms located in that industry sector. Next is retail trade. We're more than 2,000 firms in the retail trade sector. We're going to focus on those core, on that core, and make sure we protect that. Highlights of the past year. The Bureau of Labor Standards of Statistics gave Clayton County the largest improvement over the past fiscal year in the entire 9 large counties in Georgia as far as wage growth. That means we're outperforming all the other counties around us, all the other large counties in the state of Georgia as far as wage growth. As it relates to counties in the country, our 7.6% growth is the 7th largest improvement out of 339 counties in the country. We're doing good things here in Clayton County. So thank the board and thank the chairman for the things they're doing. Things are turning around. As far as weekly wages in the Southern Crescent, people in Clayton make the most. Most people don't know that. $977 a week, average wage. Success in 2015. The largest improvement in unemployment in the state of Georgia. The 5th largest labor force in the state of Georgia. The largest labor force in the Southern Crescent. 125,410. More than 2 million square feet of industrial space was absorbed last year. From Castellini on Highway 42, and Kroger at 1.2 million square feet. So large projects are getting done. The reason why, because Clayton has good infrastructure, good leadership, good backbone, good bones and structure. Clayton's turning the corner. Every month, as I stated before, between 50 and 100 jobs are being created in Clayton County. Many people don't know about that. So we're improving the story, making sure the brokers tell us. what's going on as far as attraction and growth within the county. And this last year, thanks to Tamara Patridge, more than 17 productions were filmed here in Clayton County last year. We're doing a great job. We're doing great work. I hope I'm doing a great job. So, over the past month since I've been here, some of the things I've worked on, we fully implemented our ED plan from 2013. One of the things that was, I think, mission critical when I first got here is that we can't have any more retail vacancy in this county. You drive around various communities and parts of the county, you see retail vacancy. So it's my mission, when we heard about the Publix closing, to work with the shopping center owner to attract another retailer in there. Why a grocery store? Because grocery stores are the center of communities. Always have been, always will be. So we work with the owner of the shopping center to attract another grocery. We got a food depot. Some people that want food depot, however, that's 90 new jobs. And as I stated before, we want to attack the unemployment rate and protect the 2.9 billion in retail sales. So with 90 new jobs, we attacked the unemployment rate. By protecting or creating $10 million in retail sales, we're protecting the $2.9 billion in retail sales. We're also reaching out to the various 7 cities that make up Clayton County. So we have held various meetings. We also held one-on-one interactions with 7 cities to make sure that those are my key customers. Before in Cook County, I had 128 customers and 128 cities. Here I had 7. So those 7 cities have my full attention. Whatever they need as far as a resource or communication, we will work with them, provide those resources to them. Over the past 8 months, since I've been here, we've conducted more than 18 BRE visits. I know a few were done before I got here, but over the past 8 months, I've done roughly 18. And we fully engage our ED partners from the Chamber, to the state of Georgia, the Georgia Power, and the Metropolitan Atlanta Chamber, as far as business outreach, business attraction, and retention. And by doing these things, we have worked with over 20 businesses, which have created 200 jobs, and invested more than $20 million in Clayton County over the past 8 months. Some of this stuff is really just because of the strong leadership and the growth of the economy. Mr. Doug Sue from Player Company actually just relocated back here to Clayton County. He's actually one of the first graduates of Forest Park High School. And since, I think it's December, you've had 150 people. That's the story Clayton County should tell. We talk about those stories. So, my goals. I got my hard hat, I got my lunchbox. And we plan to win. So, I tend to operate on the principles of faith. Fiscally responsible, to be accountable, but also be innovative, and be trustworthy, and transparent, and also honest. So a sense of faith. That's the premise of how my office operates. That's the premise which I live by. So, as you see economic development in Clayton County, we will operate on principles of faith. Re-engage all our partners with Atlanta Aerotropolis. The Atlanta Aerotropolis is going to reshape the entire Southern Crescent. Clayton is front and center at the table. We're roughly 80% of the airport land in Clayton County, and the airport's expansion in Clayton County. We are the driver. We're in the driver's seat, not in the passenger seat, not in the back seat, but in the driver's seat. Now, we may be sharing the wheel sometimes, but we're the driver. Fully engage our 2013 economic development plan. As stated before, we're really pushing on that. I encourage you to get a copy of that and read it. If you don't have a copy, feel free to stop by my office. Industry visits. We're planning on doing 100 industry visits next year. But also we're looking at creating new tools for Clayton County. One of those tools is the enterprise zone, but also look at work with the various cities in Clayton County as far as opportunity zones. To make sure that our businesses that are here have the resources that they need, but also make sure the companies coming here have the toolbox or tools that they need to help relocate here. We're also looking at more or less working on small businesses. So in the next few months, you hear something about us working with a small business development center by re-engaging and putting in place a entrepreneurship program. I think some of you may have attended those seminars or panels in other counties. Well, I think one has not been taking place in Clayton County for about 8 years, or 10 years actually. So this summer, you will have an entrepreneurship program here in Clayton County, right here on the campus of Clayton State, sponsored by Clayton County. So my goal for this year is roughly 1,000 jobs and $50 million of private investment in Clayton County. Now I think we're probably about a third of the way there. I'll give you an update probably by the next quarter, end of March. Time's up, Mike.
This is, yeah.
So what is good economic development? You know, this is more or less a label from a cereal. So look at what is healthy economic development. I need to lose weight. So you look at the read labels. So read the label on economic development. So we'll take one serving size for one county. So it's about 270,000 people. How many calories? 0. What's involved? What does that consist of? Well, it's 100% education, 100% workforce development, 100% local business support, 100% community engagement. People who have come here, people who have been here, I want to thank you. I think one of the things we all tend not to do is not thank the people who have been here. You've been through the storm. You're still here. So I want to thank you. But I'm going to need your help. I'm going to put you to work. Because economic development is not about one person. It can never be about one person. It's about the community being engaged, by being involved, by shopping locally, by spending locally, but also telling your story, telling our story. We also 100% relationship with our partners in entrepreneurship. I'm going to speed up. Lonzo will keep me out of here.
No, you're not going to get him out of that.
But being from Chicago, Daniel Burnham. Many have heard of him, one of the world famous architect. Created a number of plans throughout the country. He's more or less the godfather of urban planning. And the motto is, make no small plans. So little plans do not stir men's soul. In this case, Clayton County, we will not make any small plans. We will make some big plans and attract big developments. So, but as I stated before, as we change the dialogue in Clayton County, we have to lift as we climb and work together and tell the story. I need you. I hope you need me. So let's work together. With that being said, thank you.
So we got Courtney a gift for being our speaker.
Oh.